After waking up in the morning, have you ever found yourself sitting on the edge of your bed for a long, attempting to muster the strength to get up and move around? It seems as though your legs are a little less strong than they were a month ago. When you lift your arms, you have to exert a little bit more effort. The reason you walk a little bit more slowly than usual is not because you are experiencing pain. Rather, it is because your body does not feel as powerful as it used to. In the event that you recognize that, you are not the only one. The gradual loss of muscle strength that occurs after the age of 60 is a fully natural and expected phenomenon. Many people are unaware of the fact that sarcopenia, which is a condition that refers to the loss of muscle mass, is not solely caused by the process of aging. On the other hand, it is about the things that we do or do not do to support our bodies as we travel. I'm about to tell you something that might take you by surprise. Your muscles do not simply become stronger as a result of the activities you perform during the day. During the time when you are asleep, your body is actually performing the most critical task. This is the time when it will rebuild, mend, and regenerate your muscle tissue. However, this will only occur if it is provided with the appropriate building blocks to work with. Not just any meal, but the appropriate kind of calm, nourishing nighttime foods that function silently as you sleep are the source of those building blocks. If you want to construct something, you need to eat food. One tranquil night at a time, I am going to guide you through the process of consuming 4 potent natural foods before going to bed. These meals have the potential to assist you in preventing muscle loss, restoring strength, and waking up feeling a little more confident in your body. The final meal, which is only 1 tablespoon before bedtime, may surprise you with the effect it has on your muscles. Continue to be with me to the very end. You should go ahead and like this video, subscribe to Senior Health, and share it in the comments section if you are interested in learning about easy strategies to maintain your strength while you are sleeping. Are you familiar with the experience of consuming a snack before going to bed that truly made you feel better when you woke up? It would be quite interesting to learn about your experience. The simple kiwi is a fruit that is mild, green, fuzzy on the outside, and sweet and tangy on the inside. Let's start with this fruit today. It is possible that you would think of kiwi as a snack that is refreshing to eat on a hot summer day, or as something that can be added to a fruit salad. This small fruit is a silent hero when it comes to sleep and recovery, especially if you enjoy it at night. This is something that a lot of people don't know, but here's more information about it. I'd want to share a story with you. During our conversation over a cup of tea, a guy named George, who was 74 years old, had been widowed, and had retired from teaching, shared with me an interesting story. "I don't actually sleep through the night anymore," he added. "You should know that. When I wake up, I have the sensation that my body has been holding stress while I was sleeping, and it is stiff." In a sense, he was not in agony. Rather, he was exhausted and exhausted. He noticed that his legs were not as stable as they had been in the past. It was no longer the effortless strength that he had formerly taken for granted in his arms. In his mind, that was a natural consequence of becoming older. I asked him to make a single, rather minor adjustment, which was to consume 2 kiwis around 1 hour before going to bed each night for a period of 2 weeks. It's over with. The difference is so subtle that you won't believe it. In addition to falling asleep more quickly, which was something that George hadn't done in years, he also reported that he began to wake up feeling lighter, more rested, and more mobile. He laughed and said, "I no longer creak like an old chair that I used to." Suddenly, I have the sensation that my legs are mine once more. Why is the kiwi fruit considered to be so unique? In the first place, kiwi is one of the few fruits that naturally contain melatonin, which is the hormone that tells your brain that it is time to put you to sleep. Kiwi is a gentle, food-based version of melatonin that your body can absorb and use naturally, in contrast to the pill form that many people use. Also, research has indicated that eating kiwis before going to bed can increase the quality of sleep as well as the length of sleep, particularly in people who are an older adult. Now, however, this is where things become even more exciting. During the stages of sleep that are more restful and deeper, your body is able to repair its muscles in the most significant way. It is only if you truly reach those deeper stages of sleep that your body is able to restore worn-out tissues, return hormones to their normal levels, and regenerate strength while you are dreaming. Kiwi is able to assist in unlocking that doorway. More than only a source of melatonin, kiwi is also an excellent source of antioxidants, such as vitamin C and vitamin E. What is the significance of that? Because as we become older, our muscles become more susceptible to inflammation and oxidative damage caused by the environment. Soreness, stiffness, and a general sense of being slowed down are among symptoms that are brought on by this. Your muscle cells will be able to concentrate on recovery rather than repair if you take antioxidants, which help eradicate damage. In addition, kiwi fruit is an excellent source of potassium, which is essential for the normal contraction of muscles and helps avoid leg cramps that occur during the night. And you know how beneficial it can be if you've ever woken up at 3 a.m. with one of those searing leg cramps. And now we come to the portion that senior citizens admire the most. The kiwi fruit is simple to digest and will not cause a spike in your blood sugar. In spite of the fact that it has a sweet flavor, it has a low glycemic index, which means that it is safe for persons who are managing their diabetes or closely monitoring their insulin levels. The fact that it naturally contains a minimal amount of sodium makes it an excellent choice for people who are coping with high blood pressure. What is the most effective strategy to take pleasure in it? 2 ripe kiwis should be peeled approximately 1 hour before going to bed. It is recommended that you consume them gently, perhaps when you are relaxing with a book or some peaceful music. Although it is a simple practice, it is one that sends a message to your body that it is time to relax. There will soon be healing. As is the case with anything else, it is important to pay attention to your body. If a person is sensitive to fruit acids or already has digestive issues, there is a possibility that they will feel a mild stomach upset. For the majority of individuals, however, kiwi is mild, soothing, and well tolerated. It can even be described as soothing. Kiwi is a gentle method to fall into greater sleep and help recovery. And we have just now investigated the quiet power of kiwi. Now, however, let's move on to something that is a little bit more traditional. Something that each of us has had the pleasure of cracking open at some point in our lives, either with a slice of toast in the morning or tucked away in a family recipe that we enjoyed. Eggs are the topic of discussion. As you read this, you might be wondering, eggs? On the way to bed, it is accurate. When we think of eggs, we typically think of them as a morning staple. However, here is the bit that will surprise you. In particular, if you are over the age of 60 and your goal is to maintain your strength, balance, and muscular tone while you sleep, eating an egg before bed can do something pretty spectacular for your body. As you can see, the effectiveness of eggs is not solely due to the fact that they contain a high amount of protein, although this is absolutely the case. All 9 of the essential amino acids that your muscles require in order to grow and repair themselves are found in eggs, making them what nutritionists refer to as a complete protein. To add insult to injury, they contain a particularly high concentration of leucine, the essential amino acid that is responsible for stimulating the production of muscle protein. When you consume eggs, your body receives a very clear message that it is time to repair. This is a fancy way of saying that eggs are high in protein. Now comes the part where things start to get interesting for senior citizens. To a certain extent, our bodies grow less sensitive to even minute levels of protein as we are becoming older. It is possible for a person of 25 years old to gain muscle by consuming a tiny portion of chicken. In contrast, those who are over the age of 60 typically require a somewhat higher quantity of high-quality protein, particularly protein that is rich in leucine, in order to achieve the same level of benefit. Moreover, this is where eggs really shine. Approximately 6 grams of protein and between 500 and 600 milligrams of leucine are contained in a single big egg. This amount of protein is sufficient to make a significant contribution to the regeneration of muscle tissue overnight. Having a soft-boiled egg an hour before going to bed could be the missing component that your body needs to stay strong. This is especially true if you are someone who eats light at night or if your meal did not contain a lot of protein. But there is more to it. Additionally, eggs are a source of vitamin D, which is a nutrient that is lacking in many elderly people, particularly those who do not spend a lot of time spending time in the sun. Furthermore, vitamin D is concerned with more than only bones. Additionally, it plays a significant part in the process of muscular function and coordination. You have a food that helps your body move and respond with more ease and confidence when you combine this with the choline that is contained in eggs, which is a nutrient that supports the function of the brain and nerves. But what about cholesterol? You might be wondering at this point. That is a valid point, particularly considering the fact that eggs were once seen as having a negative reputation. Here is what the most recent scientific research reveals. For the majority of people, consuming eggs in moderation, which is around 1 egg per day, does not increase the risk of developing heart disease. In point of fact, there are studies that suggest eggs can really enhance your cholesterol profile by increasing the amount of HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol. Eggs can be a very safe and extremely valuable component of your diet. That is, unless your physician has specifically advised you to avoid them. The manner in which you prepare your eggs is, of course, also important. Eggs that are cooked in a gentle manner, such as by poaching, soft boiling, or simply scrambling them in olive oil, are beneficial to digestion and preserve a greater quantity of their nutrients. You should avoid frying in butter or adding an excessive amount of salt, as these might cause your stomach to get irritated and cause your blood pressure to rise. A soft egg is one of the easiest proteins to consume, and it is a good choice for people who have difficulty chewing. There is no need to strain your jaw. Allow me to illustrate this with a real-world scenario. After attending a wellness program, I became acquainted with a woman named Lean. She is 68 years old, constantly smiling, and she brings fruit to everyone she meets. She suffered from the sensation of being weak in the morning for a number of years. When she was younger, she used to say, "When I get out of bed, my legs wobble like cooked noodles." Although she believed that skipping snacks after sunset would help her sleep better, she did not eat dinner until a late hour, and did not eat dinner at all. We made it a point to include a single poached egg in her evening routine. It was not a substantial dinner, but rather a warm snack before she went to bed. After a fortnight had passed, she informed me that although I had not anticipated that it would have any effect, I no longer feel as shaky as I did before. My state of mind is truly stable. If you choose the correct protein for bedtime, it can accomplish this. Consuming a substantial dinner in the evening is not the issue here. Never in the least. While you are resting, it is important to provide your muscles with the appropriate amount of fuel so that they may heal and rebuild themselves. The work is done by your body. All you need to do is provide it with the resources it needs. Let us now move our focus to something that you might not anticipate, something that you might be able to hold in the palm of your hand, or something that you might even forget to put away in a jar off to the side of the cabinet. You should not, however, be fooled by their size. These tiny seeds are one of the meals that most people don't give enough credit to when it comes to nighttime. In this context, I am referring to pumpkin seeds, the same tiny green seeds which are often referred to as pepitas, that you might find sprinkled on salads or mixed into granola, are the ones discussed here. However, pumpkin seeds have a lot more power than their diminutive size suggests when it comes to your muscles, your sleep, and your total recovery during the overnight hours. It is my pleasure to present you with Harold. As a retired gardener, Harold is 72 years old. His hands still have the appearance of being able to manipulate the soil. In order to address a shared problem, he came to me. I experience a tightness in my legs each and every morning when I wake up. I go through the motions. Now, I am moving. However, there is still the impression that I did not get any rest at all. Magnesium was the one item that was missing from his evening routine, his meals, and his sleeping habits, and we looked into it. Magnesium, as you already know, is a mineral that assists in the relaxation of your muscles. In the absence of sufficient amounts of it, your muscles may continue to be partially tense even while you are sleeping. Although they may have slept for 8 hours, some people nevertheless wake up feeling painful because of this. And can you guess what one of the most beneficial natural sources of magnesium is right now? That is correct. Seeds produced by pumpkins. A little handful, which is approximately 1 ounce, can provide you with approximately 37% of the magnesium that you require on a daily basis. Considering how small the bite is, that is quite astounding. You are providing your body with the resources it needs to relax physically, not just intellectually, when you take pleasure in them in the evening. However, magnesium is not the only benefit that pumpkin seeds have to provide by virtue of their composition. In addition, they are one of the few foods that naturally contain tryptophan, which is an amino acid that your body processes into serotonin and subsequently into melatonin, which is the hormone that contributes to your ability to fall asleep. If you combine tryptophan with magnesium, you will experience a powerful 1-2 punch that will allow you to get better and deeper sleep. Tryptophan on its own does not cause sleeping disorders. A better night's sleep triggers a greater release of growth hormone, a greater amount of cellular repair, and, yes, a greater amount of muscle rebuilding during the night, during the time that you are sleeping under the covers. Pumpkin seeds are a good source of plant-based protein, with approximately 7 grams of protein per ounce, and they also include beneficial fats that aid slow digestion. Let's not forget about this essential fact. Instead of experiencing a sudden surge and subsequent drop in amino acid levels, your body will experience a gradual and consistent release of amino acids throughout the night. It is mild, it provides support, and it is just what muscles that are becoming older require in order to heal and develop stronger. The question that you might be asking now is, how do you consume pumpkin seeds in the evening? Without a doubt, keep it to a minimum. A tablespoon or 2 is more than sufficient for the purpose. You can consume them in their natural state, or if you want to increase your protein intake, you can sprinkle them over a little amount of plain Greek yogurt. In order to bring out the nutty flavor, some people use a skillet to warm them up slightly, but you are not need to do so. Simply do not add any salt to them. In particular, if you are attempting to control hypertension. Consuming sodium late at night is not beneficial to your blood pressure regulation. In addition, they contain a high amount of zinc, which is beneficial for repairing cells, bolstering the immune system, and even maintaining hormonal equilibrium. This is particularly significant for men over the age of 60 who wish to keep their testosterone levels in a healthy range, as testosterone levels are directly related to muscle mass. All of that from a single seed. The natural world does not waste space. As is the case with other nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds are high in calories. This is a somewhat minor warning. That does not imply that they are a bad person. However, you should be careful not to consume them by the handful, especially in the late hours of the night. Try to limit yourself to a small portion. Instead of thinking of them as a snack, you can consider them a nocturnal tonic that will help your muscles along with your sleep. This brings us to the final one, the unassuming champion of strength before nightfall. The sweetness of fruit and the crunchiness of seeds are things that are absent from this. Neither is it vibrant nor is it dazzling. Cottage cheese, on the other hand, is the one food that can actually help you restore the muscles that time has destroyed while you are sleeping. To put that into perspective, before you wrinkle your nose or think about it, that was something that my grandma used to consume. Hold on to me because, despite its seemingly insignificant lumpy texture, it is actually one of the most powerful foods for growing muscle that you can consume, particularly before going to bed and especially after the age of 60. Permit me to elaborate on why. In cottage cheese, there is a specific kind of protein known as casein that can be discovered. And casein is not the same as the protein that can be found in other foods, such as fish, poultry, or even eggs. It takes a long time to digest. This indicates that your body does not immediately consume it after you have consumed it. Additionally, it distributes amino acids gradually over the course of several hours, thereby ensuring that your muscles remain gently nourished during the entirety of the night. What is the significance of that? As a result of the fact that your body goes into repair mode while you are sleeping, it is possible for your body to begin breaking down muscle in order to fuel other activities if there are not enough amino acids in your bloodstream. Amino acids are the building blocks of muscle. A situation like that is the last thing you want, especially if you are already suffering with the muscle loss that comes with becoming older. During the course of the night, consider providing your body with a constant stream of those amino acids. To put it another way, a few spoonfuls of cottage cheese can precisely accomplish this. This does not cause an increase in your blood sugar. As far as the stomach is concerned, it does not feel heavy. While you are recovering after your workout, it silently goes to work, promoting muscle growth, repair, and strength. Martha, who is a close friend of mine, is 76 years old. She was as sharp as she had always been, but she had begun to realize that her legs were becoming weaker. Ascending the stairs became more difficult. The process of getting out of the car required greater effort. She had been assured that it was simply the natural process of aging, but she did not feel comfortable with that response. One little adjustment that we made was to consume a small bowl of low-fat cottage cheese, which consisted of just a few spoonfuls, approximately 30 minutes before going to bed. Within a span of 3 weeks, she informed me that it seemed as though my body had finally received the message. As I wake up, I find that I have greater energy. Now I have a sense of stability. When the body finally receives what it has been lacking, this is what occurs. In addition, cottage cheese has a significant amount of leucine, which is the same amino acid that stimulates muscle growth that we discussed in relation to eggs. However, cottage cheese provides this amino acid over a longer period of time. If you think about it like this, eggs are a quick way to get things moving. A calm and steady hand that holds you through the night is what cottage cheese provides for you. And if you are keeping an eye on your blood sugar, I have some additional excellent news for you. The simple, low-fat variety of cottage cheese, in particular, has a naturally low rate of carbs. Neither will it create a crash during the midnight hours, nor will it interfere with insulin levels. People who have diabetes or prediabetes may benefit from the protein since it has the potential to help regulate blood sugar levels overnight. Consider selecting the low-sodium option if you are concerned about the amount of salt in the food. Now, it is not difficult to locate them. And for those who are concerned about the health of their heart, choose variants that are low in fat or contain 1% in order to limit the amount of saturated fat. Now, let's discuss about the flavor and the texture of the food. In its natural state, cottage cheese is a favorite of some individuals. As an alternative, some people like to combine it with something else, such as a few slices of banana or perhaps a tablespoon of cinnamon. If you have some kiwi that you had left over from earlier, this is a wonderful combination to include. The most important thing is to keep things light and uncomplicated. It is important to keep in mind that this is not a meal, but rather a signal to your body. What you require is as follows. Please take your time. Make repairs when I am sleeping. 1 tablespoon is all that is required to make a difference. Indeed, I do. Now, let me tell you about the beauty of it. There is no preparation, no cooking, and no stress involved. You are not need to stand over a burner or blend a smoothie in order to accomplish this. The only thing you need to do is open the container, grab a spoon, and start nourishing your body. It was quiet, with care. To a great extent. Many elderly people believe that in order to regain their strength, they must engage in a significant activity. Intense workouts, sophisticated eating regimens, and pricey supplements are all part of the package. However, the reality is that power after the age of 60 is derived from consistency in the smallest of things, because you are aware of what to give your body and when to give it. An additional benefit of consuming a small amount of cottage cheese before going to bed is that it acts as a comforting embrace for your muscles. Now that we have accomplished our journey along this peaceful nighttime route together, let us pause for a moment to take a deep breath and contemplate. There is no need for you to completely change the course of your life. Neither the pursuit of perfection, nor the counting of each and every calorie is necessary. Something more sustainable, a few choices that are made consistently with care, is what your body genuinely needs, especially after the age of 60. A choice as insignificant as peeling a kiwi could be the one that you make tonight. Bring an egg to a boil. Appreciating a small amount of cottage cheese with a spoon. As an alternative, you could try allowing a few pumpkin seeds to soften on your tongue before the lights stop. These aren't just snacks to eat before going to bed. In other words, they are acts of goodwill directed at your future self. They provide fuel for your muscles. They ease the tension in your nervous system. Additionally, they promote more restful sleep and more energizing mornings. And by performing each and every calm evening routine, you are sending a message to your body that you are still important. There is still strength in you. And you are still capable of putting things back together. Due to the fact that this is the truth. Muscle loss is not an unavoidable consequence. It can be gone backwards. It is possible to avoid it. To begin, you must give your body what it is requesting, not in a loud and overwhelming manner, but rather in stages that are straightforward and compassionate. You can now go to bed tonight with the knowledge that your body is gradually reassembling itself as you sleep, rather than going to bed with the feeling that your strength is ebbing away. If you found this video to be encouraging, or if it provided you with some fresh ideas to experiment with, I would be delighted to hear from you. Which foods are you most interested in trying before going to bed? Please let me know in the comments section.